Hello everyone, I am CoolGuy, welcome back, and today we're going to be reviewing the Hunter exotic boots, the FR0ST-EE5. They've been brought back into Destiny 2 and they're better than ever, and I was so excited when these dropped because I had no idea that they were coming back. They were one of my go-to exotics in Destiny 1, and as a matter of fact, there was a review in progress that I stopped to review these. The flavor text reads, "Hey, if it works for computers, Marcus Wren." Now, I just used this in a full trials card, so in the background is the final match for the Lighthouse. Now with these boots, it just seems like I'm playing just generic background footage. So that's why I'm here to tell you the full story of what's actually going on when you play with the FR0ST-EE5. They are mobility, and you can add some resilience to them. It came with a recovery mod. The perk is rapid cooldown, increased grenade, melee, and dodge regeneration while sprinting. Dodging increases your sprint speed. You have to be in the act of sprinting to get the increased cooldowns. Note that when you start sprinting, you hear a noise. There's a flash that goes on your screen, and you see the rapid cooldown text on the screen. This flash is very annoying. The sound is very annoying, but in PvP, enemies do not hear that noise. But with what these boots do, that is a lot that it does. So you're warned now, it's not too late to back out. We're getting ready to dive very deep here. We're gonna get very stat heavy on this one. This type of exotic deserves that, and there are a lot of players that can benefit from these numbers and they find this information useful. It's taken a long time to get the numbers, literally hours, and there might be some human error, and if so, it's minimal. I'm going to be going over these things to the best of my knowledge and testing, but at the end, we're going to be talking about the FR0ST-EE5's application for each subclass and the best overall use for them. For the Hunter, all subclass base cooldowns are the same: grenade, melee, dodge. So as an example, an arc bolt has the same cooldown as a void grenade, a throwing knife has the same cooldown as a smoke. Think universal cooldowns. And mods can be added, and those can stack up to 3 times. Some subclasses can achieve 3 times in a given ability, and after review what the cooldowns are, we're going to get into which subclasses can achieve the 3 stack. The number to pay attention to is adding 2 mods. All subclasses can get at least 2 mods, and then you can add the FR0ST-EE5s on top of that. Now when I go over the FR0ST-EE5 times, those times are going to be from the moment that you start an ability, then immediately start sprinting. That is when the perk rapid cooldown is active. So from that point, the time it takes for you to sprint, and then it comes back. So again, this is going to be depending on you sprinting. These are the best possible times you can get if you continue to sprint. Now that's always not possible. We have to stop, we have to shoot, we have to hide, but sprinting is a big part of the game, and you're gonna hit these cooldowns at some point, and the FR0ST-EE5s might surprise you. First, let's talk about the grenade. The grenade has a base cooldown of 1 minute 23 seconds with no grenade mods at all. If you add 1 mod, it's 1 minute 15 seconds, 2 mods, 1 minute 9 seconds. But here's what the FR0ST-EE5s do. With no mods, you just have the FR0ST-EE5s on, your grenade cooldown is 42 seconds. If you add 1 mod to that, it's 35 seconds, 2 mods added with the FR0ST-EE5s, 28 seconds, 3 mods, a 3 stack with your FR0ST-EE5s gives a 21 second grenade cooldown. As a rule when wearing the FR0ST-EE5s, each time you add a mod, you're reducing 7 seconds. The Arc Strider is the only subclass that can achieve 3 mods for grenades. The other 2 subclasses hit 2. Now for the Arc Strider, those 3 mods go on your chest, legs, and cloak. Look at the power of the FR0ST-EE5s, guys. By just using the FR0ST-EE5s, no mods, essentially the base cooldown is reduced by 50%. That's a big deal, but these boots get better and the overall picture starts to become a little bit more clearer. Moving on to the melee. The base melee cooldown is 1 minute 36 seconds. You add 1 melee mod, 1 minute 28 seconds, 2 melee mods, 1 minute 20 seconds. So you throw on the FR0ST-EE5s, you have no mods available. The cooldown for your melee is now 48 seconds. You add 1 mod to your FR0ST-EE5s, 41 seconds. 2 mods to your FR0ST-EE5s, 32 seconds. That's just how the numbers worked out. 3 mods with your FR0ST-EE5s is a 25 second melee cooldown. The Gunslinger is the only subclass that can achieve 3 mods for its melee, throwing knife. So that's using the chest, legs, and cloak. The other subclasses hit 2 mods. Again, the FR0ST-EE5s reduce the base cooldown by 50%. That's when you're using no mods at all. And not to mention, let's say you're on the Gunslinger, getting your knife back after a precision throw with the subclass skill tree, or using the Gambler's dodge on any subclass to fully recharge your melee ability when you dodge near them. But for the dodge itself, with no mods, it has a 24 second base cooldown. You add on the FR0ST-EE5s, it's 12 seconds, again a 50% reduction in the cooldown. Now you have your FR0ST-EE5s on, with 1 mod it's 10 seconds, 2 mods 8 seconds, 3 mods with the FR0ST-EE5s, it is a 6 second shade step. Only the Night Stalker can hit 3 Paragon or Dodge ability mods. Those are going to be synonymous. Paragon Dodge ability, same thing. They're found on the helmet, chest, and cloak. Now a 6-second cooldown is a lot of time to be invisible, and as a matter of fact, if you just keep sprinting, dodging, staying stealthy and invisible, you're going to be seen invisible for only a couple of seconds in between your dodges. 6 seconds is really fast, and the Night Stalker does have 3 Paragon mods, but there is another that can hit a 6-second dodge. That's the Way of the Wind Arc Strider. This tree has 2 main perks, Focused Breathing and Combat Meditation. For Focused Breathing, sprinting charges your dodge ability. So with no mods, Focused Breathing gives you your dodge back in 17 seconds. Focused Breathing and the Frosties gives you a 10-second dodge. Focused Breathing, 1 mod with the Frosties, is an 8-second dodge. If you use 2 mods with Focused Breathing and the Frosties, that is where you hit your 6-second dodge. But not only that, Combat Meditation is in that skill tree, so when critically wounded, melee and grenades recharge drastically faster. This stacks with the Frosties, which gives you an even faster way to a cooldown for your grenade. In PvP, you can pretty much have your dodge ready for every engagement, and you can have more grenades to throw in those engagements, especially in the start of a Trials game. Say at the end of the round, you're very close to your grenade, well, as you're sprinting to the objective at the start of the next round, you're probably going to have it with these boots on. And in Destiny 2, grenades, abilities, everything like that is so important because they have such long cooldowns. And as long as you're moving, you can have these things ready for gunfights consistently. With these boots, this is how I run each subclass. Now, each specific encounter, you want to do different things, like let's say Orpheus Rig for PvE, using specific skill trees to get a job done, or maybe a skill tree for PvP. Now with this breakdown, each subclass is going to be based solely on mods, getting every ounce of cooldown you can get out of the Frosties on a given subclass. So with that being said, for the Arc Strider, we want to use the Way of the Wind skill tree. Remember, you can get 3 grenade mods on the Arc Strider, mods on the chest, legs, and cloak. But since we have Way of the Wind, I would go a different route to get more of a complete setup. I'm valuing that 6-second cooldown dodge instead. So a Paragon mod on the arms and chest, that's for your dodge, that gives you the potential 6-second dodge. Grenade mods on the legs and the cloak, and the helmet is going to be a melee mod. This skill tree probably has the most potential. You get the fastest dodge possible with the 2 ability mods, Focused Breathing, and then the Frosties at 6 seconds. You have 2 grenade mods to get your grenade back every 28 seconds, and 1 melee mod paired with the Gambler's Dodge, and that can just reset right when you dodge next to an enemy. But we also have Combat Meditation in this tree. Remember, at some point you're going to be critical health, so when you're running away, low health, you have 2 grenade mods stacking with this perk on the Frosties to get a really quick cooldown for the grenade and possibly get your melee back. Tons and tons of synergy. For the Gunslinger, Way of the Sharpshooter skill tree, melee mods on the chest, legs, and cloak, and your choice of a grenade or dodge mod on the helmet. This is focused around the throwing knife. We're going to bring it back. You can get a 3-time stack there, so hit the headshot with the knife, and if it's the killing blow, you're going to reset it. But with the Frosties, you're going to be getting a lot more knives. Again, a 25-second cooldown in between them if you're running. Way far below the base 1 minute 36 seconds to get a knife back, so utilize that knife. You can also use the explosion knife if you want with the other skill tree, but I prefer the potential for the cooldown reset. For the Night Stalker, Way of the Trapper skill tree, ability mods or dodge mods on the helmet, chest, and cloak, grenade mod on the arms, melee mod on the legs. Just like we talked about earlier, being invisible a lot. A 6-second shade step, you get 1 mod for your grenade, 1 mod for your smoke bomb. It's just a really fun setup, a lot of synergy. And I didn't forget, the Frosties also give you an increased sprint speed after dodging. So shown here on the left, we have a regular sprint speed, and on the right, we have an increased sprint speed after dodging. And as you can see, it's minimal, but it is faster. The duration of the increased sprint speed is approximately 10 seconds, and I'm not sure why, but there appears to be some sort of zoom when you're in this buff, possibly to give the illusion that you're going faster than you actually are. At the end of the buff, it actually unzooms. It's very odd, but again, it does indeed increase your sprint speed. Here's my conclusion. As a base, all cooldowns are reduced by 50% and get faster when you add mods. When your abilities are 1 minute 20 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds, that can feel like an eternity in game, but think, everywhere you go, everything you do, in a PvP match, in a strike, in a raid, you have the ability to do everything twice as much. Throw twice the grenades you would have thrown, things like that. These are incredible. There's so much you can do with these boots, so many combinations of perks, they're good. So good that you can say, you know what, I want to have a really fast dodge. I want a really fast grenade cooldown. You can add all the mods that you want, and the beautiful part is that nothing is having to be compensated. The other cooldowns are already 50% faster. They are the ultimate neutral game exotic, top tier elite ultimate neutral game exotic. But the question is, like in PvE, do they replace like the Night Stalker's Orpheus Rig, Gunslinger's Nighthawk, Arcstrider's Raiden Flux? No. No, they do not, but they do have a place. Maybe elemental modifiers, throwing more grenades in those scenarios, blowing through a strike while invisible most of the time. In PvP, they can really shine in there. They get clear advantages. And there are a ton of useful exotics for the Hunter in the Crucible, especially a new helmet that was added in Warmind, and we're going to talk about that in the upcoming days. And when the review does go out, it's going to be added in the description down below. The Frosties are elite in PvP though, in my opinion. Especially like in the competitive playlist, there are a lot of standoffs in that and survival, so you can have a grenade ready pretty much for all those standoffs. They aren't really flashy, but with what they do very, very well. Thank you guys for sticking around. I had a lot of fun reviewing these boots and using them. I hope you learned something, and I'm starting to get these reviews done and starting to push them out. Thank you for subscribing if you are, and if you want push notifications right when the review goes live, hit the bell icon. That's kind of how YouTube works nowadays. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the Frosties. How do you like to use them? What do you think of them? Please remember to rate the video, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.